A new discovery enables spacecraft to reach distant regions of the universe within weeks instead of years.
But there have been alarming side effects. People who have opposed the project have become ill or died, and there has been at least one murder. What is at the back of it? Claire Stewart, a scientist, and David Holland, a reporter, are determined to find out. Part 4, The Gemini Factor. Host, Planet Earth.
There are only two possibilities. Either stage 3 has been successful and the ship's gone outwards into space, or it's blown up. In either case, the effect is the same, a blank radar screen.
If it had disintegrated, there would have been something tangible. Fragments. There has been nothing.
Rathbone's right, Nat. The only possible conclusion is that my theory has worked, and Starfarer has freed itself from the laws governing the speed of light.
That's what worries me. It's no longer subject to the forces we know and understand. Well, we should have waited until we were absolutely certain.
May I remind you that I am conducting experiments in spaceflight, not running a commercial airline.
You put 2 men in that ship, Professor Ormskirk.
That's enough, Nat. A manship was necessary. I take full responsibility, and as far as I'm concerned, everything is going well.
You are wrong to antagonize him.
All right, so I'm wrong.
Professor Ormskirk is a great man, Mr. Blakey, a very great man.
Well, that is irrelevant.
It is you who are being irrelevant. The point of the experiment was to prove that if you can conquer gravity, you can conquer the other laws as well, including the law that governs the speed of light. This is exactly what Professor Ormskirk has done, and you are criticizing him as if he were an ordinary man.
I know he's not ordinary, but the 2 men in Starfarer are. And so are the men who've been taken ill, Rathbone. Friends of mine, yours too, ordinary men. 3 of them are on the danger list.
They are being well looked after.
Oh, sure, no expense spared, everything that can be done, etc. But what I'm asking myself, what you seem to have forgotten, is why they became ill in the first place.
I think we have already discussed...
Oh, yes, we've been all through this before. But nothing's been done. Meanwhile, people are dropping like flies. Not only the people actually working on the rockets, but clerks, storekeepers, guards, everyone. Ormskirk should hold an inquiry.
Professor Ormskirk has other things to think about. Besides, the evidence is inconclusive.
And another thing, this shooting incident, I'm not very happy about that.
It was nothing to do with us.
I don't believe it. Those guards are armed, and you know it as well as I do.
If you have any criticism about the way this establishment is administered, I suggest that you make it personally to Professor Ormskirk. He will not thank you for it.
And what are the police doing about it?
I'm quite sure the police have the matter well in hand.
I'm afraid the superintendent's busy just at the moment.
It's very important.
It usually is, miss. What is the purpose of your call?
You can tell him that we're all in danger. You, me, the whole country. Perhaps the whole world. See if that'll arouse his interest.
Oh, I see, sir. You want me to say to the super that the whole world's in danger?
Yes.
I did hear you correctly, sir.
You did.
Well, I'm not sure whether it quite comes within our scope, but if you'll wait here, I'll see what I can do for you.
Now, let me get this clear. You say the scientists are carrying out experiments which endanger human life, right?
Right.
I'm no scientist, but I understand there's often a good deal of risk attached to this kind of thing.
Mr. Holland has already told you.
Yes, Miss Stewart, I know. Nevertheless, I find it difficult to accept the implication that this unaccounted-for sickness is bound up with flights into space.
Superintendent, do you happen to know the precise nature of these experiments?
I do not.
Well, I do. And you can take it from me that...
If you please, Mr. Holland. The Stellar Research Establishment may have their rockets on my doorstep, but there's a very good reason for my ignorance. It's called the Official Secrets Act. I'm sure you wouldn't want to incriminate yourself by telling me too much.
Superintendent, something's happening to these people's minds. There's some force at work, something intelligent and yet inhuman. A whole village has been subjugated.
Subjugated?
If that doesn't interest you, how about murder?
Murder?
A school teacher from Stratton was shot near the perimeter fence.
What do you know about it?
We came across the body before your men got there.
Ah, yes. You didn't happen to see a van driving away, did you?
No.
A green van going in a northerly direction.
Who saw it? Who saw the van?
We have an eyewitness, unusual in a murder case. Are you trying to tell me that the shooting of Roberts is connected with this story of yours?
Yes, I am.
Who was he? Who was this eyewitness?
A man called Rathbone. I understand he has quite an important post.
Oh, yes. He's Professor Ormskirk's right-hand man. Did he see the murder?
Unfortunately not. He heard the shot, went to his window, saw the body on the side of the road and the van driving away. Not much to go on, but more than we usually get.
You do know that the guards are armed?
Not according to my information.
If the bullet came from one of their guns, you could prove it, couldn't you?
If we found the bullet, unfortunately it went clean through him. We'd have to search about 5 square miles of Suffolk with a fine-tooth comb.
Why don't you?
We will, Mr. Holland, if we have to.
Do you know that Roberts led a deputation in protest against the rockets?
No. Are you suggesting that Roberts was shot because he protested about the rocket?
No, because he knew something was wrong, horribly wrong, and was trying to do something about it.
That's a serious charge to make against a government department.
We're sticking to it, Superintendent. And I'll tell you something else. The joint leader of the deputation was the rector of Stratton. He committed suicide at roughly the same time as Roberts was murdered.
You know, this idea of yours is a bit too far-fetched for my liking. All the same, I think we'll pay a visit to the rocket site. You'd better come too. We'll see what the experts themselves have to say about it.
I tell you, it's absolute nonsense. I've never heard such a fantastic collection of half-truths, misrepresentations, and downright lies. The man's obviously insane. Take him away, certify him, anything you like, but don't pester me.
I'm very sorry, sir, but a man has been killed. We have to investigate every possibility, however unlikely.
You could hardly have chosen one that was less likely. Alien force, indeed. Claire, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I'm sorry, Professor, but it's the only explanation that fits.
I'd hardly call it an explanation. What is it, this force? Where does it come from? Why haven't you felt it? You expect me to accept a bare statement as if it were a fact.
I'd tell you more, but there are so many things I don't understand about it.
My dear girl, if I went to the police every time I came across something I didn't understand, the superintendent would never get a moment's peace. Ask Mr. Rathbone to come to my office, will you?
It's been suggested that Roberts was killed by a shot fired by one of your security guards.
Oh, come, Superintendent. This isn't a concentration camp. My guards are armed with nothing more lethal than a whistle and a torch. We do have some Alsatian dogs, I believe. Quite sure he wasn't bitten to death.
No doubt the autopsy will tell us about that, sir.
Rathbone, you've already met the superintendent, I think.
I have.
Well, 2 further points, Mr. Rathbone. You say in your statement that when you heard what sounded like a car backfiring, you went to the window and were just in time to see a man getting into a green van, which then drove away.
Yes, northwards.
Quite so. Now, could the shot have been fired by one of your security guards?
No, they are not armed.
That's not true.
One moment, Miss Stewart. Now, Mr. Rathbone, this man you saw getting into the van, you didn't see his face, I suppose.
If I had, I would have told you.
You wouldn't know him again?
No.
It's been suggested that there may have been something unusual about him.
Unusual?
Was he a West Indian?
I beg your pardon?
A West Indian?
His back was turned. I was unable to see his face.
Thank you, Mr. Rathbone. I think that's all.
Thank you.
Oh, there you are. Obviously nothing to do with us.
There's this question of the alien force acting on people's minds.
Oh, really, Superintendent?
Forgive me, sir. I'd like to get to the bottom of it. After the sensational things that Mr. Holland here has been telling me, I thought perhaps you could put the records straight.
With pleasure. We are making a controlled flight into space. A new development. We've had a bit of illness, more than average, perhaps, but nothing to be alarmed about. I do assure you that we are fully aware of the necessity of discovering the exact cause and taking steps to eliminate it. You will understand that for reasons of security, I cannot say any more.
I understand, sir. Well, it's very much as I expected. You've no further point to raise, Mr. Holland?
Oh, what's the use?
Those guards are armed, and if you'll come with me, I'll prove it.
You've no objection, Professor?
None whatever. We have nothing to hide.
Purely routine, of course. I just like to satisfy myself.
Huh? Are you all right, Superintendent?
All right.
Ah, you look pale. Better sit down for a moment.
No, it's nothing. Well, I'll be on my way, Professor. Thank you for your help.
Not at all. We're always happy to help the police.
Wild goose chase, if ever there was one.
Superintendent, the guns, I'll show you.
Guns?
The guns carried by the guards.
I don't think that will be necessary.
But they do carry guns.
Professor Ormskirk has assured me that they do not.
But he doesn't know. He's so wrapped up in his work, he doesn't even know what day of the week it is sometimes. You've got to believe me, Superintendent.
Professor Ormskirk has given me his word that the guards...
Oh, why can't you understand? He doesn't know.
Claire, you're wasting your time.
More coffee, David?
Oh, thanks.
It's like a nightmare. I mean, why did Rathbone lie about the West Indian? It must have been him, but Rathbone deliberately tried to mislead us.
Rathbone? Rathbone's affected.
Yes. It's become almost impossible to talk to him like an ordinary human being.
Now we know why. An ordinary human being is just what he isn't. I said just now that we couldn't rely on anyone. But we can rely on Rathbone.
I should have thought he was the last person.
No. You know those trick questions about one person always lying and the other always telling the truth? Well, we can't be sure who's telling the truth, but we can be certain that Rathbone will try to mislead us.
You mean about the West Indian?
Exactly. He must have seen him. He could have put the police on his track, but he lied. That West Indian must be so important that Rathbone, or someone...
Or something.
Or something. Daren't risk him being involved. There's our direction. The West Indian in the mental hospital.
Peter Johnson.
There must be a connection.
But, David, he's catatonic.
I know, but I think it's time we paid another visit to Springhurst Mental Hospital.
There's nothing really to be said. Johnson has been discharged.
Cured, Dr. Harris?
There is no point in discussing the matter. The case is closed.
I'm not satisfied, Dr. Harris. There's still a lot we want to know. Where did Peter Johnson go when he was discharged?
I have no further information for you.
David,
Claire!
Now, all right. It's only car sickness. I'm afraid I'll have to...
Where are you going?
I won't be a minute.
I cannot allow you
Dr. Harris, you can see she's not well. You might have the decency...
All right. I'll show you. Come with me. She'll be all right.
Nasty thing, car sickness.
I've never had it.
Odd how it affects women more than men.
Indeed?
And passengers more than drivers. Something to do with concentration, maybe. Oh, I'm not suggesting...
If you have nothing more to ask...
Oh, but I have. I want Peter Johnson's address.
Then I suggest you contact his employers, the Stellar Research Establishment.
Might be wasting my time. But you know that, don't you?
I have no other suggestion to make.
You're not being exactly cooperative, Doctor.
I'm sorry.
Ah, Claire. Better now?
Yes, it wasn't very much.
Well, Doctor, we won't take up any more of your time. I'm sorry you didn't feel able to give us the information we wanted.
But we must have it.
Excuse me, I have an appointment. I must bring this interview to an end.
Well, where do we go now?
Flat 3, 79 Grimsby Villas, Stowmarket. Peter Johnson was taken there by ambulance yesterday.
David, so you did get his address.
Uh-huh. Just had long enough to look up the doctor's card index. It was a near thing, though.
Taken by ambulance, so he's not cured.
Did you expect him to be?
No.
Smart work on your part. What made you think of car sickness?
It wasn't very difficult. It happened to be true. $79. Here we are. Flat 3, Johnson.
How well do you know him?
We've passed the time of day once or twice, nothing more. He was very popular. Always had a big smile for everyone.
Yeah.
Peter.
No.
Wait.
Man, you're going to take your foot out of my door, or am I going to have to kick you out?
Don't you recognize me, Peter?
You hear what I said to your boyfriend?
But it's Claire. Claire Stewart from the rocket site. We're your friends.
No friends in that place.
Put that knife away, you fool.
You from the rocket site, that's good enough for me. Flaming murderers.
Right, if that's the way you want it. Sorry. He was going to use that knife.
Oh.
He's bleeding.
Yeah. It's only a cut. Funny. He really didn't seem to recognize you. Amnesia?
It could be, but... David, it's not Peter.
What?
I'm almost sure of it. It looks like him, but...
He must... I've got it, Claire. This is Peter's brother. His twin brother.
What?
But don't you see? He's unaffected. And you've got a twin sister and you haven't been affected either.
But you...
No, I'm not a twin. It's beginning to look as though I should have been. I don't understand. It's screwy.
Oh,
I'll get some water for that cut.
oh, my head.
Can you stand up?
I think so.
Good. Sure you're all right?
Yeah.
Now listen. You heard what we were saying.
Yeah, but there's more to it than that.
But that's why they shot Roberts, isn't it? They couldn't get him any other way. He was immune because he had a twin.
Roberts didn't have no twin.
But he was immune, and that's why they shot him.
He was too strong for them.
Even though he wasn't a twin.
Yeah. Seems some people are immune without being twins. And another thing, not every twin is immune.
Why?
I don't know. There's more to it.
Where did you learn this?
My brother.
He's here?
Sure.
Sick?
Yeah, he's sick. Oh, my head is still...
Oh.
Your girlfriend's a long time with that water. Let's go inside.
Yes, she is a long time.
Damn. No hanky. I have to use a tea towel. Hope it's clean. Oh, beautiful.
Claire.
Beautiful.
Claire, it's me. David. Listen to me, Claire. You've got to pull yourself together. For God's sake, make the effort. What happened?
Oh, David. Oh, a wonderful dream. No, not a dream. Real. Trees, waterfalls, flowers, such flowers. And people, strange, beautiful people. Not human, more graceful. And warm rain, fine sun.
Claire, you're a rational human being. You have a mind of your own. Don't let yourself be carried away by some misty vision.
You're so stupid. You don't understand a thing. What's so wonderful about human beings? You think there's no one else in our galaxy? I've seen them, David.
Claire!
Flowers. Beautiful. Must have. Lily. Water lily.
Claire, wake up. Do you hear?
Look. This water lily. Did you ever see such... Oh.
Water lily. A crumpled, soggy bit of rag, that's your water lily.
I thought it was...
Well, it's not. You can see that now, can't you? You can see what a mockery it is, this vision of yours.
But how can I be sure? How can I be sure?
Whatever it is, you've got to fight it.
But we don't know it's evil. We only mistrust it because it's alien, because... Perhaps we're wrong to resist it.
Claire, don't talk like that. Oh, Claire. Claire!
What's going on in here?
Chris, help me.
My brother, go get him.
Where's he?
In the bedroom. Bring him in here. I'll do what I can. Claire, look. I take your hand in mine. You can feel that. You know I'm here?
They've gone. Who are you? Let go of my hand.
No, not yet.
Let me go back. Please, let me go back.
Come on, Peter. Chris is here.
David, make him let me go.
Not going to let you go. Now, you listen to Peter. He'll tell you.
I hate you for this. Let me go.
Peter, tell the lady about this vision she's been having.
Vision?
Yes, tell her about those beautiful people.
They all died. Yes, they died.
No.
Every single one.
Dead.
But I saw them. They were alive. They were so happy.
Then the invaders came.
Oh, God.
From another world. Flamethrowers. Everything that stood in their way. Burned.
No. I don't believe it. You're lying. Let me go. Oh, let me go.
It's all right. It's all right, Claire.
Give me your hand again.
You don't need my hand anymore. You're safe now. You've seen it.
Seen what?
Oh, David, it was horrible. The burning and the killing.
And that's what's going to happen here?
No. Something worse. These invaders, they didn't kill everything. The creatures survived.
The creatures?
They had no one to control them any longer. So they multiplied.
Multiplied. Nothing else but them. Multiplied and covered their whole world. Sucked it dry. Every living thing.
What sort of creatures, man?
Sucked it dry. Like the desert.
Yes, I saw it. The wind screaming over the bare rocks in a parched desert. Nothing else left. Nothing.
Over and over again it happened. Over and over again.
What do you mean?
He means when they sucked it dry, they went somewhere else.
How?
In the invaders' spaceships.
What? These creatures forced their way into the spaceships?
Then they killed invaders' own planet.
World after world. Century after century. Billions of years. Stronger and stronger.
But what are they?
Guess you'd call them parasites living on other people's worlds, sucking them dry, just like Peter said.
God. Interstellar parasites. With worlds as their hosts.
And now it's our turn.
They're not intelligent. They can't construct ships.
They know how to wait.
David, the rocket. They force people to collect them.
Yes. May have been going on throughout millions of years. Maybe that every time a planet has invented the transport, they've somehow drawn it to them. And now we've invented it. The moment Professor Ormsker conceived the idea of the shoot rocket, we became vulnerable.
But how? The force. I felt it.
But I didn't.
But I'm a twin.
But I'm not.
Like I said, some people it just can't touch. I'm one. Guess you must be another.
There must be others like us. People who can resist it. If we could get together somehow.
You and me? We're in a very small minority. Believe me, we ain't got a chance. This is mass hypnosis.
Hypnosis? But what sort of creature can use it over millions of miles of space?
I've a feeling we shall know that very soon.
Starfarer, what are we going to do?
Nothing we can do. This world of ours is doomed. The rocket has gone to their dying world and is going to bring them back here.
It's back! It's back!
What?
Come over here. Look at that screen.
You may be right. Ask Professor Ormskirk to come to the control room. Tell him stage 3 is about to commence. It looks solid enough. Call them up, Mr. Blakey.
Control to Starfarer. Control to Starfarer. Are you receiving me? Over. Control to Starfarer. Control to Starfarer. Can you hear me, Starfarer? Over. Oh, hello, Chief. It's back, we think.
Have you eliminated the other possibilities?
I will get a report. Blakey's trying to contact them by radio.
Control to Starfarer. Report my signal strength. Over.
This is a great moment, Professor.
You think so, Rathbone?
But it is the proof that your theory is correct.
I knew that when Starfarer left the radar screen and disappeared into space. This is only the cup of coffee that rounds off the meal.
The world will think differently.
Oh, the world always thinks differently. That reminds me, the press release. Send it out.
With pleasure.
Professor, I can't get any reply from them.
The batteries may be run down.
But they shouldn't be.
They have been away longer than we expected.
Yes, but not that long.
Some factor we had not considered, perhaps. Some unknown cosmic effect on the equipment.
If there was something wrong with the equipment, we'd know about it.
Excuse me, sir.
What is it?
Teleprinter report from Jodrell Bank.
Read it.
Most immediate to Professor Ormskirk. Unidentified satellite in orbit 79. Minimum 270, maximum 310, plotted 1537 hours. All available data indicate return of your Starfarer projectile. We'll keep informed. Message ends.
So, that's it.
Nat, turn the speaker on. I want to hear for myself.
Well, that's it. Their transmitter's on, but they're not speaking.
Call them up.
Control to Starfarer. Control to Starfarer. Can you hear me? Over.
Again.
Control to Starfarer. Control to Starfarer. Can you hear me? Please reply. Over.
Let me speak. Control to Starfarer. This is Professor Ormskirk. Can you hear me? For God's sake, answer me. Answer me. Answer!
Host Planet Earth was written by Anne Howell and Colin Cooper and produced by Nestor Payne.